Hello, my name is Zachary McLaughlin, and this is a comprehensive review of Bowser's brand new N8 Caboose. This is the most recent run. This is specifically item number 4. Wow, I can't speak. This is specifically item number 43407, and this is representing Conrail Caboose N8 number 23342. I'm Zach McLaughlin, and this is the next generation of model engineers. Let's get straight into the review. So, we're going to start with the car body. It's accurate, correct length, everything checks out, excluding the coupler boxes, but we'll move more detail on that to the end of the video. We're first going to go and look. We have a full data sheet, the later style 2-box one, as well as a track code above Conrail text and the number 23342. We also have a bunch of underbody detail, not underbody detail, but underbody text labeling, such as the valve tank changed when the actual underbody's tank was changed out, as well as the water fill, which would be located here on the real car. Ignore my shaky hands. We have a car weight, as well as some other miscellaneous detail and text to label things. I believe up there is the Penn Central road number that it wore. Should have also been 23342. This is a detail from the earlier cars. They lost it as Conrail was more substantiated, but I do appreciate them having it. Next, we're going to talk about the trucks because they're wrong. I don't like to be that guy to a company I like, such as Bowser Model Manufacturing Company. But it's the complete wrong type of truck. They are the right weight. They are 70-ton trucks, which is what they wore. But I'm going to bring the correct type of truck into frame from the upgrade parts I have for this specific car. This is a Tangent 70-ton Benderdorf Caboose truck with the leaf springs and power pickups. That'll make sense when I get to the conclusion. I talk about what's going to be done to this model in the next video about it, which is going to be the full upgrading it to a Tangent level of quality. That's a little teaser for later, though. But these are the correct weight of truck, and they are technically correct being, what do you call them? Plain bearings, but I model later, so for me, this would have either had converted roller bearings or still plain bearings. So either way, it's correct for me, excluding the coil springs rather than leaf springs on the trucks. Next, we got to talk about one of the kind of big obvious things is these handrails on either end are painted. These are not. These are Delrin handrails. This is how Bowser keeps the price so low on these. Hobby shop price for this was $32.95. I paid 15% off because of a pre-order and paid $28.75 and like 1 cent for this. MSRP is $40. This is a very affordable Caboose, as well as a very affordable car, and it reflects in the level of detail. It doesn't reflect in the level of detail. It only reflects in the quality of the handrails, honestly. They're not wire like Tangent would be. There's a Tangent Caboose right behind this that I'll be using as comparison for color later, but we'll get to that in a moment. These Delrin handrails aren't quite white, opaque, because Delrin is a fairly translucent plastic, so it leads to this kind of shadowy gray looking handrail rather than the bright white they should be. But I can't really tack it too much because it is still correctly shaped and it allows this car to be cheap, so we'll let it pass. That's the overview of this side of the car body. Let's turn it around real quick and talk about this side of the car body. This side has substantially more issues. That thumbprint is from me because I have oily hands. Sorry. Let's start. Same issues with the trucks and the handrails, but our big issue is going to be this big old box in the bottom that shouldn't be there for the Conrail era. Conrail later gave these things outside axle. Some of them got outside axle dynamos, and most of them remained with their original internal axle generators. But by the time Conrail was around, they had removed the exterior battery boxes and moved them. Some of them got them like the N5s where it's on the car body. Some of them just got mounted under the body, but most of them did not have the battery box. Specifically this car, I'm not sure because I don't have a picture of this side of the car. So I'm not going to tank at any points, but also for most of the Cabooses with Conrail era, that is incorrect. Now, there's another detail we can see that I didn't cover on the other side. Up here at the top, these little eyebrow-looking handrails over the kind of face, the eye-looking windows. That's why I call them eyebrows. These top grabs are not supposed to be there by the Conrail era. It's just wrong for this era of this car. They were removed in the Penn Central days, so that's a tick against them. The windows, I'm not going to take any ticks because some of them didn't get the resealed windows and the weird N5 style windows that some of them received in the Conrail days. Just as the things broke, glass was fractured, it's easier to plate over it with metal and make a smaller window. So no points off there, but it's also not necessarily correct. For this car it is though. The other cars, which are identical to this one, it is not. Now we're going to move to the end platform. Let's get a nice good focus on not the coupler box here. Let's focus on the handrails. These are not correct for the Conrail era. This will make more sense when we get up to the roof, but the top handrail here shouldn't be there, and neither should the second at the top. These two handrails aren't there on the real car because these cars didn't have roof locks. And that's another incorrect detail for the Conrail car. These two supports, the end roof walk, should not be there. They weren't there on the real car. I don't know why they're there on the model. It's because they have a generic model that they use for everything. I do appreciate the detail of the internal handrails inside of the porch, as well as the really nice fine riveting all around this model. When I pull up the Tangent model that you can see hiding back there, next to this, you're going to see that even Tangent, which is a very premium company, has massive rivets compared to this car, and I find that very impressive. Credit to Bowser. I don't know if these things retained their polling pockets. I assume they do. Again, those Delrin handrails sticking through, even the ones on the inside of the car there. Again, cost-saving measure, I can't fault it. The brake wheel is roughly correct. It's a little overscale, but nothing that I'm too worried about. The door, this is a pull car, so it has the pull. It also has the card number on the roof above the door, so you know what car you're in if you forgot for some reason or you need to make a call to dispatch. But yeah, no, the ends are, for the most part, correct and incorrect. The big, blatantly wrong thing is the coupler box. It's recessed. Come back here. It shouldn't be. These things had cushion frames. Not necessarily actual cushion frames, but if you think of a cushioned car, you think of that long extended gearbox, insert image here, that these should have. And I'll insert an image of an actual car here. And that's my biggest gripe with this model. It makes it shorter than it should be. The body itself is correct, but the actual overall coupler length is wrong. So yeah, that's a big gripe with this model. The Bowser knockoff Katie number 5 is whatever. It's plastic. They make a metal knuckle coupler, so I don't know why they're not including it. But it is, I believe, identical to the number 5. It's just plastic, so that's not great. But otherwise, the end detail, you can't really see it, but there is the continuation of the brake chain detail down under the car body, which I do appreciate. And with that, we're going to move to the underbody of the car now. Now we're talking about the underbody of the car. So the battery box is just a big hollow box on the underbody, so meh, don't really care about that. We're going to talk about the brake detailing, which is incredibly impressive for a car of this price. Remember, this is a mainline level car. There is no reason they should have to have all of this extra brake detailing with the full linkage for the levers, The I forget what it's called off the top of my head right this second. The piston's there, the correct style of brake reservoir. It is really, really good. And it's let down so hard by the trucks. Trucks are just not good. I do appreciate the full metal wheels and metal axles. That's a nice detail. But it is a disappointment in quality compared to this detailing in here. That's really it for the underbody. Let's move to the roof. Ignoring my grippy handprints, the roof is good and bad. The rivet detailing is bloody perfect, and I can't give them enough credit for the quality of the molding here. But there are some mistakes. No IRA handrails. None of these handrails up here should be there. Also, no roof walks. These things had their roof walks removed during Penn Central. And that reminds me of something I actually missed on the car body end. During Penn Central, these things got amber flashing lights on the end rather than marker lights. And there's no housings to be seen. But other than that, the roof is correct. The paint is correct on the roof. If we look the cupola at the end, if I get it in frame here, ignore the shadow that my arm is casting. Move this to the front. And it doesn't fall off of my little display here. Wow, you really cannot see that. If I put my thumb here, you should. There we go. There you go. The roof is correct, excluding the walkways and the handrails, but otherwise perfect. Can't fault the roof. Really easy update to later date it to my era of the late 1980s. It is missing right here its marker lamp, as I mentioned, but that is an easy enough detail to add, and I believe Bowser actually sells the detail part through CalScale. So, sticking within the company, you can, in fact, still find all the details you need to mostly get this thing up to par. If I don't move the camera by accident. So let's move on to really my conclusion. What do I think of the car? I think it's pretty good. The color is dead on. This is a tangent car, whilst weathered. This is a car that costs literally 4 times as much. If I can bring them both in frame. And the colors are freaking perfect between both of these. And I cannot give Bowser enough credit for getting the color right. Because most manufacturers cannot get the colors right. Most of mine have been color corrected in some way or another, such as this Athearn model back here, but full credit to Bowser for getting the color right from factory. There we go. It's a good car. It is the correct level of detail for the most part for the price. Things I want changed in a future release of the model, I know they won't be, but I'd like them changed. Add the correct coupler boxes, maybe wire grabs, and then correct the roof details to not be there. But otherwise, it's a good model. It's good for the price. It's good for the quality. Parts of it are made in the USA by Bowser because it's Bowser. So if you like that stuff, good model to buy. But it's overall a phenomenal budget caboose. You're not paying for the magnet-controlled lights and wire full body under on a car like this. You're paying for a mainline tier car. I'll pull one out here just for the sake of demonstration. This is getting cut out. I don't have a mainline car in the box. Fuck. I was expecting this to be a quick thing. And back to it. You're paying for something that's this level of quality. Ignore that I've put couplers in this. And it's comparable to something like this mainline car. But it has way more separately fitted details, way better separately fitted details. Because on this, the only separately fitted details are this single mold brake rigging, it's one piece, and these door latches. That's it on these. So you're paying for what you get, and you're not paying much for it. And I think that's a good way to think about this model. It's a budget model that's good enough. but is really, really wanting to be better. And that's what I'm going to do for it. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to bring some of the parts I have for this project out. I've got later style trucks. This one does have the external dynamo. That's something I know that this car got, or at least I have firsthand testimony that this car got. Roller bearings and an exterior dynamo off of one of the, I forget, it's one of the weird Cabooses New York Central made that they got it off of. And these are Code 88 wheel sets. I don't have Code 88 in all my stuff, but for this, I thought it would be a good special occasion because it's going to be super detailed. I've got a decoder to control lights. I believe it's a Cam 4. And I've got the lights over here in the LEDs bin. I'm not going to pull those out. But all of those honestly small little detail upgrades are going to take this model from a good budget model to a tangent level car, or at least that's what I want to do. We'll see, obviously. So, I'd like to thank you for watching. I know that this may not be a great video, it may not be perfect, but I made it, and it's my first attempt. So please go in the comments, yell at me, make fun of me, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I did right, and what you liked, what you want to see more of. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Zach McLaughlin with the next generation of model engineers, and I'll see you when I get all these upgrades done with. Thanks for watching. Bye.